So obviously everyone's loving this big drama bomb that's just been dropped here, where what happened was Maui made a joke about how she wrote the RMR, wasn't actually crying about like Buster and Hobbit messing up the round. He was crying because of how bad Nafany's calling is, because obviously me and Maui agree, right? He was the first to this take. Nafany is nafany, his calling's absolute dog water on T-side, isn't he? He has two of the best players in the world, one AWP, one rifler, no overlap, and they can just go off and he can barely get out for like last place at massive land tournaments, being irrelevant at most of these majors, basically. So, okay, Maui had the audacity to make that joke. And by the way, it was an obvious tongue-in-cheek joke. Go look up what that means, Russians, because why the would he be actually just making a statement all this time later, pretending to actually be able to read the mind of Shiro, a young Russian boy? I don't even know if he's met outside of an interview on broadcast because his main language is Russian. So the silliest thing to me is this. I'll show you how this would sound on a desk, not in text. It would go like this. Shiro wasn't crying during the RMR because Hobbit or Buster were messing up. He was crying because the IGLing was so bad. See how that works? It's obviously a joke, isn't it? But what happened is, because the people replying speak Russian as their first language, they don't get it. So instead of thinking, maybe there's something I'm not getting here, they'll never do that, by the way. They always fucking double down. So, of course, they're getting mad at what they think was said, which was never what was said. This is just Richard and Clowngate with Blade all over again, where he never called Blade a clown, but good old s1mple just decided he did, kept repeating it. I even DM'd the guy privately to say that isn't what he's saying and tried to explain it. He just wouldn't hear it because he's a bozo and just decided to double down on it. So you know what? First of all, Nafany is raging like a little child right now. In England, we call this, you're throwing your toys out the pram. He didn't tag you, bruh. He didn't reply to you, brat. In this scenario, I'm not calling my brother in that one, mate. In this scenario, he's just making his opinion on his Twitter account. He is absolutely allowed to do that. That's even part of his job, by the way. There's no like, but he's insulting me. Like, he's implying you're not good at your job. Spoiler, you're not actually good at your job. I would kick you in the fucking heartbeat. Now, it doesn't mean you can't have a job. You can go work in Forza or Spirit. Basically, jog on, right off. I bet even with the super team now, you won't win big tournaments. You're just scoffed as they come, mate, and you call around yourself some of the times, big ego call. Give me a break, will you? So actually, no. And also, if we're going to talk about the idea of like disrespecting people's jobs, you mean like when s1mple's calling me and Maui like useless analysts and saying our whole like analysis is nothing about the game? Give me a break. Or even you, Nafany, having to pretend we have to be in your team to make a joke about what's going on, or to know you're the bozo calling people running into brick walls over and over again, losing the tournaments. Nah, I've seen POVs of those players. I've seen some of them playing FPL when they're not with you. Brilliant players, a couple of those guys. You're the one holding them back. You're the albatross around their neck. You'll probably reply now, you are saying I'm a literal waterfowl. I am not a bird. Like, give me a break, will you? Then also, how about this? s1mple getting mad and defending Nafany. Why? Are you the only one allowed to flame Russians for you wrong in CSGO now? Then also, I'll just say this. This is why I'll never give pros any quarter until I know they're legit, I've vetted them and they're respectable. People like Apex. Because they're just like this. I saw it my whole career as a journalist. They're just entitled kids talking and throwing their toys out the pram the second that someone criticises them. Your job is to get paid tens of thousands of dollars a month, way more than the Legends did in 1.6. And part of that is media, and it's understanding you're going to be scrutinised. Now, I have a rule. I don't, in general, unless it's someone who's got me in the past or I have a friendly relationship, I don't usually reply directly to the tweet. Maui wasn't. I don't tag the player. No, he didn't. You're the one going on his profile, raging, telling him not to talk on his Twitter. You cretin, that's what Twitter is for. So I'm so sick of these little idiots. Like, there's this whole thing now where that's why some of the best analysts in the world are scared to give their opinion. I won't say names, but they just pander to the crowd and say what you all want to hear and make little idiot Zoomers who only want to hear their opinion reflected back to them go, hey, this is a good W take. A million L take comments from Zoomers don't add up to one real opinion from an actual adult human being who thought it out, by the way. You are fucking NPCs. So you know what the best part of this is? Now Maui can go full heel. Because when the goats flamed you, I've been there. What's there left to lose? Who gives a fuck? Every idiot thinks you lost no matter what you say. So now we can go full heel and embrace that and become truly box office. Fuck 'em. I certainly will.